بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. And hello everybody. In our previous lecture, we provided a slide on current and emerging technologies which may affect healthcare, such as e-health, patient portal, mobile health, and Internet of Things. We also shed the light on the challenges that could affect such technologies. Okay, however, our lecture for today, finger crossed, our final lecture, is about evaluation research in health informatics. We are going to describe research methods, and research questions in a brief manner, just to have like a background about research. Then we are going to describe or give an overview about the approaches, research approaches to evaluating health informatics interventions. Okay. So the learning objectives of our lecture today. So by the end of our lecture today, you should be able to provide an introduction about research and research questions and research method in general, and you should also be able to provide an overview of approaches and methods that we used in order to evaluate health informatics interventions. And finally, you should be able to identify a broad range of approaches, methods, and techniques for measuring the impact of health informatics applications. What's research? The question is, what is research? The definition of research, the characteristics of research, and the type of research, whether qualitative research or quantitative research, or mixed method research that combined quantitative and qualitative approaches, and examples of some research related to our topics, which is examples of research in health informatics. So I think every single one of you is know the significance of research in our life. As you know, research is critical in evolving and understanding of how health information technology and systems support the delivery or the quality of healthcare delivery, and the cost effective and patient safety. And as the worldwide healthcare systems now moves toward increase the dependence on health informatics and automation, electronic health records, and information technology. So it is urgent that disciplines such as health informatics and health information management to validate their body of knowledge through systematic investigation and evaluation based on a sound research methods. So research in general is a careful consideration of study regarding a particular concern or problem using a scientific method. In other words, research is a systematic inquiry to describe, explain, predict, and control the observed phenomenon. Okay? According to Lady Ormond, research is defined as the process of collecting, analyzing, and interpreting data in order to understand a phenomenon. The research process is systematic in that defining the objective, managing the data, and communicating the findings occur within established frameworks and in accordance with existing guidelines. The frameworks and guidelines provide researchers with an indication of what to include in the research, how to perform the research, and what type of inferences are probable based on the data collected. Okay. Research involves inductive and deductive methods in general. The inductive research methods are used to analyze and observe events, while deductive methods are used to verify and observe events. Usually, inductive approaches are associated with qualitative research, while deductive methods are more commonly associated with quantitative research. And qualitative and quantitative research will be explored further in the next slides. Okay. So, research question. Usually, research begins by asking the right questions and choosing an appropriate method to investigate the problem. After collecting answer to the research questions, the researcher can analyze the findings or observation to draw an appropriate conclusion. So, research question is an essential before starting any research. A research question identifies the problem to be studied and guides to the methodology. It leads to building up of an appropriate hypothesis. Okay? Okay. Accordingly, research questions aims to explore an existing uncertainty in an area of concern and point to a need for deliberate investigation. A good research questions help support a focused arguable thesis and construction of logical arguments. Basically, the research can be classified as action, applied research, basic clinical research, empirical, administrative, theoretical, or qualitative or quantitative research, depending on research question purpose. As mentioned previously, research originates with at least one question about a phenomenon of interest. Let's have example for that. So, as a research question, let's say what the barriers prevent the successful adoption of electronic health record system in Jordan? How do patients use health information on the internet? So the research questions such as the two preceding questions, help researchers to focus thoughts, manage effort, and choose the appropriate approach or perspective from which to make sense of each phenomenon of interest. Therefore, formulation of a good research question is undoubtedly one of the first critical steps in the research process, especially in the field of social and health research, where the systematic generation of knowledge that can be used to promote, restore, maintain, and/or protect health of individuals and populations. Research method. Uh, as we mentioned previously, the starting point for the research design was both the research questions and research purposes. Why? Because they provide the researcher with a significant clues about the research substance to be evaluated. The research methods or approaches are plans and procedures for research that span the steps from broad assumptions to detailed method of data collection, analysis, and interpretation. So the selection of research approach or research method is based on the nature of research. So the selection of a research method is based on the nature of the research problem or issue being addressed, the researcher's personal experiences, and the audiences for the study. So the overall decision involves which method should be used to study a topic. Informing this decision should be the philosophical assumptions the researcher brings to the study, procedures of inquiry, called as research design, and specific research methods of data collection, analysis, and interpretation. The three common approaches to conducting research are the three common research methods are quantitative, qualitative, and mixed methods. For example, is it numerical, textual, textual, or both numerical and textual data needed? Based on this assessment, the researcher selects one of the three aforementioned approaches to conduct research. Also, the researcher anticipates the type of data needed to respond to the research question. Coswell states quantitative research employs strategies of inquiry such as experimental and surveys and collect data on a predetermined instruments that yielded statistical data. The finding from quantitative research can be predictive, explanatory, and confirming. Researchers typically select the quantitative approach to respond to research questions requiring numerical data. So quantitative is associated with numerical data. So the type of quantitative research methods is survey research, descriptive research, and correlation research. Uh, the survey research, I think all of you are familiar with the surveys, and I think all of you have received from the phone companies. He received a text message about customer satisfaction surveys. So in the survey research method, a researcher designs a survey with the most relevant survey questions and distributes it. Once the researcher receives responses, they summarize them to tabulate meaningful findings and data. The ultimate goal of survey research is to learn about a large population by deploying a survey. While descriptive research is all about describing a phenomenon, observing it, and drawing conclusions from it. While the correlation research usually examines the relationship between two or more variables. For example, a researcher is studying a correlation between cancer and merit. So the married women have a negative correlation with cancer. And in this example, there are two variables, cancer and married women. When we say negative correlation, it means women who are married are less likely to develop cancer. However, it doesn't mean that marriage directly avoid cancer. Okay? Qualitative research. Qualitative research is a holistic approach that involves discovery. Qualitative research is also described as an unfolding model that occurs in a natural setting that enables the researcher to develop a level of detail from high involvement in the actual experiences. Qualitative research can also be described as an effective model that occurs in a natural setting that enables the researcher to develop a level of detail from being highly involved in the actual experiences. The qualitative, in a simple word, qualitative research the qualitative approach for research questions requiring textual data. So qualitative research is always associated with textual data. So what's the type of qualitative research? So types of qualitative research methods. One-to-one interview, focus groups, ethnographic research, and the case study. So one-to-one interview is conducted with one participant at a given point in time. It needs a researcher to prepare questions in advance. The researchers ask only the most important questions to the participant. Usually, this type of interview lasts anywhere between 20 minutes to half an hour. During this time, the researchers collect as many meaningful answers as possible from the participant to draw inferences. Focus group, the second type is the focus group. Focus group are small group comprising of around 6 to 10 participants who are usually experts in the subject matter. A moderator or the interviewer is assigned to a focus group who facilitates the discussion amongst the group members. A moderator's experience in conducting the focus group plays an important role. An experienced moderator can prompt the participant by asking the correct questions that will help them collect a sizable amount of information related to the research. Ethnographic research is an in-depth form of research where people are observed in their natural environment. This method is demanding to the necessity of researcher entering a natural environment of other people. Case study is used to study an organization or an entity. This method involves a deep dive into ongoing research and collecting data. The third, mixed methods approach to research. Researchers incorporate methods of collecting or analyzing data from quantitative and qualitative research approaches in a single research study. That researchers collect or analyze not only numerical data, which is customary for quantitative research, but also narrative data, which is the norm for qualitative research, in order to address the research question or questions defined for a particular research study. In simple words, a mixed method approach for research question requiring both numerical and textual data. For example, in order to collect a mixture of data, researchers might distribute a survey that contains closed-ended questions to collect the numerical or quantitative data, and conduct an interview using open-ended questions to collect the narrative or qualitative data. Okay, so what's the purposes of research? So in general, there are three purposes of research: exploratory, descriptive, and explanatory. The exploratory purpose, as the name suggests, exploratory research is conducted to explore a group of questions. The answer and analytics may not offer a final conclusion to the perceived problem. It's conducted to handle new problem areas which haven't been explored before. This exploratory process lays the foundation for more conclusive research and data collection. Descriptive research focuses on expanding knowledge on current issues through a process of data collection. Descriptive studies are used to describe the behavior of a sample population. In a descriptive study, only one variable is required to conduct the study. The three main purposes of descriptive research are describing, explaining, and validating the findings. And finally, the explanatory research or causal research is conducted to understand the impact of certain changes in existing standard procedures. Conducting experiments is the most popular form of casual research. For example, a study conducted to understand the effect of of let's say, uh, information technology on patient safety. Okay? Uh, this table is a comparative analysis in order to understand the characteristic of research design using research purpose, sorry. So it's in the exploratory research, usually the research method used is unstructured, while in descriptive research is structured, and in the explanatory research is highly structured. The research conducted through in exploratory research is asking research questions, and same in the descriptive research, while in the explanatory research, because it's experiment, it's based on the experiments, we usually using a research hypothesis. The time of conducting exploratory research is early stage of decision making, while in the descriptive research is usually later stage of decision making, and it's the same for explanatory research, usually later stage of decision making. Okay. So now we are going to talk about the health informatics research in health informatics. Research is critical in developing an understanding of how health information technology and systems support the delivery of quality, cost-effective, and safe healthcare. As the healthcare system moves toward increased dependence on automation, electronic health records, and information technology, it is imperative that disciplines such as health informatics and health information management validate their body of knowledge through systematic investigation and evaluation based on sound research approaches. Health informatics is a broad term that represents disciplines that include the use of computer and information science to manage all aspects of healthcare data and information. Health information management as a specific discipline fits within the broader title of health informatics, as does nursing, dental, public health, and consumer informatics, to name a few. These disciplines focus on the system, applications, and technology used to collect, store, process, access, exchange, protect, and disclose healthcare data and information in clinical or paper form. So what's health informatics? Healthcare data and information are used for primary and secondary purposes, such as direct patient care, reimbursement, patient safety, legal issues, healthcare policy, quality improvement, public health, biosurveillance, and healthcare cost containment. So as the cost of healthcare continues to rise, so does the demand and use of healthcare data and information to help control costs? What theories, systems, applications, and technologies best support the collection, use, and dissemination of data and information? What is the impact of health information technology on the quality, safety, and cost effectiveness of healthcare? What's the perceived usefulness of health information technology and the satisfaction levels of its use among healthcare providers? So, in order to address these questions, health informatics professionals must have a solid background and understanding of the various research practices and innovative approaches available to them. Until now, no textbook have specifically addressed research related to health informatics. So the knowledge built on information from health informatics research can increase the effectiveness and efficiency of healthcare delivery. For example, a comprehensive review of the literature found that clinical decision support system improved health practitioners' performance in 64% of studies. Thus, one of the core competencies of health informaticians is to be involved in research in healthcare. Health informaticians conduct, participate in, and/or support health-related research aimed at systematically investigating and studying material and sources to establish facts and new information about a subject. They should demonstrate knowledge of research related to data collection, analysis, and interpretation, such as uh, medical or health-related literature search, analysis and evaluation of literature, information governance, availability, integrity, transparency, protection, retention, and disposition, information system interoperability, semantic, technical, and functional, health information technology standard for system interoperability also. So the evaluation research in health informatics. Health informatics research is defined as the investigation of the process, application, and impact of computer science, information system, and communication technology to health services, which in a simple word, evaluation research in health informatics consists of a set of methods to explore the impact of new or existing processes on health services, or let's say on healthcare quality and patient safety. Health informatics research covers a broad spectrum of topics, including principles of health information and communication systems, fundamental natures of health information and communication systems, factors that affect health information and communication system, interventions capable of improving existing health information and communication systems, methods and principles of developing interventions, evaluation of interventions in terms of their effects on individuals, the organization, the work, or its outcome, and uh, societies. So, health informatics research is also defined from its name as an interaction of the research from several disciplines such as medicine, computer science, information systems, and health information management, engineering, health services administration, nursing, and public health. Uh, so, uh, so it's a combination of research in medicine and a research in computer science and information system and information management, health information management. Other disciplines with a connection to health informatics research, anthropology, biology, business and management, communications, economics, epidemiology, ethics, mathematics, organizational behavior, physics, psychology, and sociology and statistics. Uh, Many of the early and leading informatics researchers were trained in medicine, computer science, mathematics, and engineering. Consequently, the various methods of conducting research came about as a result of the varied experiences of researchers and practitioners. Furthermore, research questions in health informatics cover a range of topics. Sorry. There are a broad range of methods and techniques for evaluating the health informatics application. Those methods measure the impact of health informatics applications have on the delivery of health services, patient outcomes, health professionals' work, and organizational efficiency. Okay, so there is a broad range of methods and techniques in order to evaluate the health informatics application. And these methods and techniques that evaluating the health informatics application measure the impact of health informatics application on the delivery of healthcare services and patient outcomes and health professionals' work and organizational efficiency. Uh, There are two broad categories for evaluation research: formative and summative. A formative evaluation is a method uh, for judging the worth of a program while the program activities are forming in progress. This part of evaluation focus on the process. So, informative is used to define goals and evolve strategies for achieving goals. Summative evaluation is a method of judging the worth of a program at the end of the program activities. Summation. The focus is on the outcome. So the summative is undertaken to test the validity of a theory or determine the impact of a new intervention practice, so that future efforts may be improved or modified. Okay. Health informaticians and health information management professionals can work alongside to evaluate health informatics interventions. Health information management professionals have a great deal to contribute to the research in healthcare settings. Examples of such interventions and settings are a patient administration system in a hospital, an emergency department information system, an electronic health record in a hospital outpatient department, an electronic pathology test ordering system in a hospital. So, based on two broad categories for evaluation health informatic research, the informaticians or health information management professionals need to evaluate these interventions for judging the worth of these interventions in a formative manner. That means during the process of applying these interventions. In the same time, they need to use the summative manner in order to evaluate these interventions and judging the worth of these systems or intervention at the end of the program activities. Okay, so they can uh, 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 at the end of the activities test the validity or determine the impact of these intervention practices and whether future efforts may be improved or modified regarding these interventions or systems. Uh, this table is give some examples about designs of research and of health informatic research and their applications. So there is a historical design and descriptive design and correlations design. For the historical design, the application of the historical design is in order to understand the past events, and the methods that they use it is a case study biography. And the example in healthcare is how did Hurricane Katrina in 2005 advance the adoption of electronic health records in the United States. While in the descriptive design, the application was about describe the application of this design. The descriptive one is about describe current status, and they used a survey observation method, which is quantitative. I think it's. And the examples in healthcare: what barriers prevent the successful adoption of electronic health record system in rural geographic areas, and how do health personnel respond to alerts, and a correlation research method or a correlation design which is quantitative also and applied on determine existence and a degree of relationship between two variables by using the survey secondary analysis. Example for that is what is the relationship between provider satisfaction and electronic health systems, and what's the correlation between the data in the Oasis 8 data set and the semantic structure of lions. Okay, so this table is given examples regarding what we are already discussed in the previous slides about research methods and the type of research methods, quantitative and qualitative and mixed method. Okay, so it also gives a design about observational design, ethnography study, and the application of this study is to describe and detect patterns and regularities in existing situations or natural surroundings. An example in healthcare is how do providers interact with patients while using the electronic health records, and how do nurses document in electronic health records in intensive care units. And there's an evaluation study in order to evaluate effectiveness by using a case study method. An example of that is which implementation, incremental or system-wide, was most successful. What factors are predictive of successful implementations of clinical information system for nursing documentation? Uh, and the last example is an experimental design or experimental study applied to establish cause and effect using randomized double-blinded clinical trial, pretest, potest control group methods. Okay, and the examples in healthcare are which interventions improve therapeutic monitoring? Does access to an electronic health record patient portal influence chronic disease outcomes? Does a clinical decision support system increase documentation of key data for patients with asthma when compared with usual practice? And the last study design is experimental that apply to detect causal relationship, and the example in healthcare is what is the effect of structured data entry on the case mix index. Does training on the internet increase elder patient search for and usage of online healthcare information? So, this table is give us an example of research design in health care and health informatics, and the application of these research and the method that they use it in this research, and some of examples or research questions regarding healthcare. Global health informatics. So once you read global health, the first thing grab your attention is what we are suffer nowadays from COVID-19, which is considered as one of the consequences of global health. So as we know, COVID-19 started from China, Wuhan, and I think within 2 to 3 months it became as a global pandemic. So this is a live example on how the world becomes more interconnected through travel, migration, and economic forces. Uh, Many health issues are being increasingly recognized as a concern not for only one country, uh, such as what happened in COVID-19 in China, but for all nations. So infectious diseases such as lung infectious, tuberculosis, human immune deficiency viruses, and the chronic diseases also as diabetes, cancer, and heart disease are leading factors for death worldwide. Okay. However, sudden outbreaks such as the SARS, severe acute respiratory syndrome, H5N1 influenza, and novel Ebola viruses, and what we live now, COVID-19, have captured the world attention. So. Uh, the impact of these sudden outbreak, the impact of COVID-19, I think everyone it is well known for everyone now, because we know that uh, this online lecture is one of the consequences of the sudden outbreak of the COVID-19, and we know that COVID-19 pandemic has caused global and social economic disruption, including the largest global recession since the Great Depression, and affecting a lot of people, and it has led to the cancellation of sporting, religious, political, and cultural events, and it also widespread supply shortage exacerbated by panic buying, and we know that schools, university, and colleges have been closed either on a nationwide or local basis in many countries, and affecting approximately 98% of the world's students' population. So according to that, the global health significance is now need to be more, or according to that, the global health is emerged, and the significance of global health is need to be well defined. So global health is defined as an area for study, research, and practice that places priority on improving uh, health and achieving equity in health for all people worldwide. So, global health emphasizes transitional health issues, determinants, and solutions, involves many disciplines within and beyond the health sciences, and promotes interdisciplinary collaboration, and is a synthesis of population-based prevention with individual-level clinical care. Uh, in simple words, in global health, health issues transcend national boundaries. Solutions require worldwide cooperation and involve both prevention and clinical care. Health equity is a necessary pursuit among all nations, and collaboration are developed within and among multiple disciplines. So, global public health security is defined as the activities required, both proactive and reactive, to minimize vulnerability to acute public health events that endanger the collective health of populations living across geographical regions and international boundaries. So, at a time when the world faces many new and recurring threats, such as COVID-19 as a new and then recurrent threats like the SARS, The impetuous aim of this year's World Health Report is to show how collective international public health action can build a safer future for humanity. Okay. Global health security or the lack of it may also have an impact on economic or political stability, trade, tourism, access to goods and services, and if they occur repeatedly on demographic stability, such as what happened in COVID-19. It embraces a wide range of complex and daunting issues from the international stage to the in the individual household, including the health consequences of poverty, wars and conflicts, climate change, natural catastrophes, and man-made disasters. What is the global health informatics? So, global health informatics is a growing multidisciplinary field that combines research method and applications of technology from several disciplines such as medicine, computer science, information technology, health information management, uh, to improve healthcare systems and outcomes. The global migration of patients and healthcare providers is also creating a challenge. When patients move from their current city, they often do not carry with them their full patient history to their next healthcare provider. This makes it more challenging for healthcare providers to provide continuity of care for patients and may require duplication of diagnosis tests. Expenditures of global health services are increasing more than 10% in most countries. So there is a global need to find more efficient ways to deliver healthcare services and share medical data while reducing cost and improving outcomes and healthcare quality and patient safety. So global health informatics uses many different terms, concepts, technologies. Uh, 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 a thorough scan of multiple scientific and literature databases and multiple internet search engines indicated that there are few instances that use the full term global health informatics. Uh, this begs the question, what is the global health informatics? Global health informatics is defined as the informatics discipline focused on empowering people to use appropriate technology to provide information-based solutions with a global perspective that support healthcare for all. Uh, the mission of global health informatics is to share informatics knowledge, skills, and research and foster local innovation to promote highest standards of health for all with an emphasis on low income, low resources countries and the medically undeserved. So, one of the examples on global health informatics is global public health informatics. Contours public health programs by relying on electronic disease surveillance systems and other web-based reporting systems to deliver critical information with which to make informed decisions. So the main objective or the main object of global public health informatics is to advance the science of public health informatics and further the diseases control international objectives. The global public health community encourage data-driven decisions and implement best practices to create, refine, and carry out an international health information systems. So the impact of global public health informatics on public health in general. So there are two biggest existing projects as an examples of global public health informatics. The National Disease Surveillance and Health Surveillance Network programs being cultivated and applied in Saudi Arabia, and the electronic integrated disease surveillance system that synthesizes geographic information, demographics, lab analysis, data collection, clinical information, and epidemiological analysis. So what these projects aim to expand the public health informatics capabilities of participating countries, which will eventually lead to an improvement in global public health as whole. That philosophy underpins the rationale of global public health informatics as well, which is that advances in health informatics will help the world as the whole better monitor and combat disease outbreaks. Uh, for health informatics worldwide, for useful information and more research about health informatics field, here is a list of some organizations and journals available worldwide that interest in health informatics worldwide, such as the International Medical Informatics Association, American Medical Informatics Association, Australian College of Health Informatics, Health Informatics Society of Australia, Asia Pacific Association of Medical Informatics, and so on. These are the resources of this lecture. Well, thank you very much for your listening. This is the end of our lecture today, and I think the final lecture as well for the health informatics sections of this course. I hope you find this lecture and the previous lectures also nice and simple and interesting. Sorry. And I wish for all of you success in this and other courses for this semesters and the next semesters as well. So thank you again for your listening, and good luck. Bye for now.